Well, greetings, imagination connoisseurs. Once again, it is I, your Duke of Dope Discourse, your master of fun and wonder, your viceroy of verisimilitude, your existential Mr. Rogers. Call me what you want. I like verisimilitude. Somebody called me that on this show. Robert Meyer Burnett, and it is time for another John Campea Show mailbag for Wednesday, July 13th, 2022. And as you know, when our show is going on during the day, the John Campea Show in the mornings, you can jump in live, fire off a super chat. While we are live, we will answer your question live on the show. That's why we only keep them open for a very short period of time. However, anytime, day or night, 7 days a week, you can send us a tip and you can ask a question, a comment, review us, tell us you hate us, tell us you love us, tell us something about yourself, tell us about your folks, tell us about your mom, whatever you want to tell us, you can. And we will read it if we deem it appropriate here on the mailbag. And if you look down, you can find that link and you can always write to us. And with that said, let's just jump right into it. We start with Philippe Rodriguez. Robert John, my daughter is a big Black Widow fan. And when she died in Endgame, she got so emotional we had to leave the theater. Have you ever experienced that with somebody at the movies? That's a good question. I don't think so. People have got emotional with me at the movies, but no one's ever left. I've never seen. I did see, however, I was watching, God, what movie was it? I was at the Grove Theater, and it was a horror film. And I want to say maybe it was Insidious or something. And I can't remember what the movie was, but this girl just steps up. She stood up in her seat and she turned around to address the rest of the crowd. And she's like, I can't take this. It's just too scary. And then her friend stood up and she started to walk away. And her friend stood up and said, I can't take it either. And she left. And then there was they go down and they go down the aisle and they go out of the auditorium. And then the father, you see the father go, damn it, one of them's my daughter. He follows out and the whole theater busted up. That was the only time I ever saw anybody leave, Philippe, but that was about it. But I hope your daughter's over it. I hope she loved the movie Black Widow, and I did not like it when Black Widow died. Mr. Poggi1295 says, would love a For All Mankind Season 3 review with Rob and Ray once this season finishes up. Though I also hate Danny, I think he helped develop Karen's tragedy arc. What did you all think about Ed's decision to abort? I shouted, no, when that happened. I appreciate you all. Well, let me tell you, Mr. Poggi, I too was like, no, Ed, you could do this. And by the way, it's going to haunt him for the rest of his life. You know, he was haunted by Apollo 10. Now he's going to be haunted by this for the rest of his life. He lost Mars. Not forever, but still. Dude, come on, Ed. I love Ed Baldwin. And Karen's tragedy arc is continuing. But, man, you know, Ray and I really should do a For All Mankind appreciation show. You know, I've been tweeting about it, and Sony Pictures Entertainment the production company contacted me, and on Twitter, they slid into my DMs, they sent me a message, and they said they want to send me some swag, and I got the swag today, and it was a sweatshirt and a handwritten note, thanks for supporting our show, and like a water bottle with the For All Mankind logo on it. I tweeted it out. It's pretty dope. Thank you, Sony Pictures Entertainment. God darn do I love For All Mankind. Sandhorse sends in a tip. How you doing, Sandhorse? Sandhorse says, I would like to see a Krull TV show where Torkel the thief is the main character and the bad guy is Prince Colwyn, who is corrupted by the evil power of the glaive and the influence of its creator, the Beast. Well, first of all, Sandhorse, I don't think anyone's ever written to the mailbag and talked about Krull, which, by the way, also has one of the great stop-motion crystal spiders ever. If you guys haven't seen Krull, it's a heady, frothy mix of sci-fi and fantasy. I don't know if I haven't seen it in so long, I don't know if it holds up. But God bless you. God bless you for writing in about Krull. I love that. And you know what? That sounds like a good show to me. I'd watch that. Sandhorse sends in a tip and says, do you think an eccentric billionaire soup character like Batman or Iron Man would work in The Boys TV show? Black Noir was like Deadshot or Snake Eyes, in my opinion. I could see that. Yeah, you know, I do. I think it would be interesting. Oops, I didn't bring this down far enough. If there was an Elon Musk character in The Boys that had turned himself into a superhero independent of Vought. Maybe he developed his own compound V. Maybe he found other ways to do it. But I would love that. I think that's a great idea. I don't know if they'll do that because obviously The Boys is in fact based on a comic book. But I like the idea. I like the way you think. I think that's not a bad idea at all. Hi, Rob. Have you been watching Better Call Saul? In my opinion, it's better than Breaking Bad and arguably the best crime drama series ever made. Stan may make Homelander piss in his pants, but Lalo Salamanca knows how to put Stan, Gus, Giancarlo Esposito in his place. I have to tell you, like with Breaking Bad, I started watching Breaking Bad and then I stopped and then I lost track of it and I just waited till the series ended. I know I waited, was that 5 years or something? And then I bought this awesome 50-gallon oil drum of they had all the seasons in it. It had a documentary and a booklet. It's awesome. So I just figured I watched some of Better Call Saul. I got busy, so I just waited. And I'm sure by this Christmas, they will come out with a full series Blu-ray set to buy. And I'm going to buy that and binge the whole show. But I do know who Lalo Salamanca is. And, of course, Gus Fring. I didn't realize that Gus Fring was getting put in his place. So can't wait. That's amazing. Oh, by the way, you know I didn't put that name. That was from A.B. Deviers? Devier? A.B. I probably massacred your name. But I want to thank you for writing in. Very, very cool. Let's see. Callum sends in a tip and says, hey, Rob, if you remember, I'm watching Star Trek movies for the first time. I remember. And I just passed Kirk's death in Generations, and I felt sad for his death. But I also felt sad this movie didn't have Spock and the rest of the crew with him on Generations. Thoughts on Generations? Dude, I got to tell you. The first, I don't know if you know the guys at Red Letter Media, but the first thing I ever discovered from them, which had to have been 15 years ago, maybe 12 years ago, they did a review. Their first thing that I ever saw from them was their Generations review. I did not like Generations. Kirk is my hero. I hate how he died. I hate that they made his big dream was I'm going to hang out in a mountaintop with a dog and a woman, and I didn't dig it. And you're absolutely right. It was such a weird hybrid. You've got Scotty and Chekhov, but you've got Sulu's daughter, but not Sulu. You don't have Spock. You don't have Dr. McCoy. It was very odd. They did what they could. But again, here's my problem too with that. I have so many problems with that. But the idea that there is a spacefaring energy ribbon that somehow is a dimensional doorway and can read your mind and create whatever fictional reality it thinks you might have wanted to live in, I don't buy it. What it comes down to is I just don't buy it. That's pretty much it. So I didn't dig Generations. I wanted to. First Contact is better. But Callum, I'm glad you're enjoying your trip through the Star Trek movies. Love that you're doing it. Chuck the Mystery. 1 of 2. Rob, I finally completed my goal to watch every live-action Paul Newman film, and while in my opinion the early work is much better than his later films, there are only 4 that I absolutely didn't like. The worst had to be Mr. and Mrs. Bridge, but the one I find myself truly on the fence about is Quintet, Robert Altman's sci-fi film, set in the frozen wastelands. I thought it had interesting concepts and elements to enjoy, but poor execution of those concepts. Wondered what your thoughts were on that film. It was certainly directed by a master. You know what? Chuck the Mystery. Quintet is one of those movies that I've watched it a number of times over the years. It's kind of post-apocalyptic and all of that, and I just don't dig it. Like you, it's got really interesting concepts, but frankly, it's just boring AF. It's just not... It was kind of a waste. I really didn't like the film. And I don't think you're wrong at all. And I'll tell you something, Chuck. Kudos to you. Nobody talks about Quintet. Nobody. Yeah, it's not... sorry, I have to dab my brow because it's quite hot today. I didn't dig it, man. I wanted to dig it, but I did not like it. And you're not wrong for liking it. So if you're looking for an affirmation of your thoughts, I agree with you. Totally.
Hey guys, we want to take a second to thank the sponsor of this video, Athletic Greens. Now, when you get really busy, and you guys know that Ann and I are really busy, one of the first things that you sacrifice is eating healthy. And I simply have never eaten enough vegetables in my diet, I admit it. So for a long time, I've been looking for a really good all-in-one supplement that helps me get those nutrients and vitamins that my body needs. And thank goodness I found Athletic Greens AG1. So what is Athletic Greens AG1? Well, with one delicious scoop of AG1, you're absorbing 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, whole food source superfoods, and probiotics to help you start your day right. And for me and Ann, it's easy. We get up in the morning, we pour a big glass of water and add 1 scoop of AG1. So many people today are taking some kind of multivitamin, and it's important to choose one with high quality ingredients that your body will actually absorb. And it's cheaper than getting all those different supplements yourself. And on top of giving you all those vitamins and nutrients, it also supports better sleep and quality of recovery and supports mental clarity and alertness. Right now, it's time to reclaim your health and arm your immune system with convenient daily nutrition. It's just 1 scoop in a cup of water every day. That's it. No need for a million different pills and supplements to look out for your health. And to make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/mailbag. Again, that's athleticgreens.com/mailbag to take ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance.
Chuck the Mystery goes on to say, one more for you, Rob. What do you think of the Prime 1 Batman Forever figures? I don't know how often you buy third scale statues due to pricing these days, but they are impressive. Hopefully Hot Toys releases their 1/6 scale soon. Sideshow is still showing June 2022. Maybe. I mean, look, I'm a huge fan of those Batman Forever, the Batman and Robin figures, but I just don't collect statues. I don't collect in that scale. I only do 6 scale. Sometimes I've got quarter scale stuff, but mostly 6 scale. For better or for worse. But I love Prime 1 stuff. One day I've got to get one. But they're not my favorite. Just because they're big and I don't have a lot of room. So, yeah, but I like them. They're really beautiful. And I'm getting the Hot Toys figures. Connor says, did you see that Salem's Lot just got pushed to April? Well, Connor, I did see that. And I had heard from a high-ranking source that they did some reshoots in May. And, that doesn't mean it's necessarily bad. They just did reshoots. A lot of big movies now do reshoots as part of their course in making them. And, I hope it's good. I love that book so much. It's one of Stephen King's best books, one of my favorite books, obviously very early classic period Stephen King. So I hope it's great. Hope so. Hope it's good. Fingers crossed. Joshua Cohn says, I am happy. Arcane got the animation nom. It's the animation knob. What is that? Do you push the button? Bing, 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 bing. Animation knob. Turn it up louder and things get more colorful. Turn it down, they get black and white. I am happy that Arcane got the animation nomination. Stinks it had to choose between animation and drama, but with 0 voice actor noms, what are the odds something like What If or Rick and Morty beat it? I think Arcane is good enough to make the best drama nomination list. Well, Joshua, I don't know if the Emmys have ever made an animated show. I don't know if there's any precedent for that, but I will say that Arcane's amazing. I mean, it fits squarely in the animation category, but it is absolutely a stunning show. And it absolutely deserves to win kudos or whatever. And I have a feeling it could absolutely win. I do believe that. I really do think that. So let's hope so. Cade from Arcade. By the way, this would be a shameless plug, but the animated show I work on Netflix, Dota Dragon's Blood, Season 3, returns in August. I think August 11th. So, hey, if you haven't seen Dota Dragon's Blood, it's a great fantasy epic. Check it out, if I do say so myself. I really enjoyed working on the show. I hope you guys check it out because it's good. Cade from Arcade says, hey, John and crew, a couple of months back, Kevin Feige said the future of the MCU has already been hinted at with Head of a Celestial in Game of Guardians of the Galaxy 1 and Venom 2 post-credit scene acknowledging the symbiote multiversal connection. Is Null coming? Well, and then there's also Gore the God Butcher's Blade. Maybe. I mean, maybe Null is coming, but I think something more is going on. I think maybe the judgment of humanity led by Arashem or as something along those lines is coming. And I can't tell you exactly what, but something is coming down the pike. I don't think it's Null. I don't think it's Null. I mean, maybe it is. I just don't think it is, but it could be. Don't know. Yeah. Kiki says, kind of sad they retconned one of my favorite jokes about Korg's mom and her boyfriend, but the lava joke was hilarious as well, in my opinion. Yeah, Kiki, look, any jokes about Korg's mom, no, I don't like that. So I stay away from jokes about people's moms. But yeah, they did retcon that. The lava joke was hilarious. Look, there's a lot of stuff in. Here's the thing, though. They've kind of made Korg now into almost entirely comic relief. And I think that the balance, I really want a better balance of pathos and comedy. And I do think that Thor leaned too far into the comedy. And I think part of the biggest culprit maybe might have been Korg. And I like Korg. And the thing is, he's funny, but he also has the soul of a warrior poet, and I want to see him get his due. So, jokes, I don't know. But yeah, I I don't like the retconning, but I do like Korg. Our friend Jonathan Namila is back and says, hello, John and Rob. I'm not sure, but have you seen Man on the Moon, one of the best Jim Carrey movies? Man on the Moon is, of course, the movie where Jim Carrey plays Latka, Andy Kaufman, one of the great absurdist comedians of all time. And he does a fantastic job. He was a huge influence on Jim Carrey himself. If you haven't seen Milos Forman, who directed One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest and Amadeus, directed Man on the Moon, it's an incredible movie. Carrey delivers an incredible performance. I mean, what an amazing performance he delivers. Really, really incredible. So yeah, Jonathan, I've seen that movie. I have mad respect for that film. Really, it's a great movie. And if you haven't seen it, it's really worth checking out. Very much worth checking out. The next one comes from Billy. Billy, who sends in a tip and says, just clarifying, Rocket gave Thor his fake eye in Infinity War. Indeed, he did. And didn't it come out of his ass? It was smuggled in someone's ass, wasn't it? Something like that. It was cleaned off. But yes, Rocket did give Thor his fake eye. That is correct. Not the mama. That's what they all say. While I enjoyed Thor Love and Thunder, I feel like the over-the-top comedy parts of the movie made it hard to feel the impact of the serious moments. If they continue with this formula, I'd almost rather they not make a fifth Thor movie. What do you think? Not the mama. I got to tell you, I think you're correct. I mean, the problem is Thor, when he wants to deliver the pathos, is great. I prefer the Thor. If my favorite Thor, I think peak Thor for me was Infinity War. And even in Endgame, when he takes off Thanos' head. I mean, I like that Thor. You don't want to get too self-important. I understand that. But I really do think, and we talked about this on the John Campea Show spoiler chat, I do think that they went too far. And it was too silly. And they're dealing with big doings, big goings on with Gore and with killing gods and also Jane Foster's cancer. And there were these heady topics, and I feel like almost it's okay to lean into the seriousness of it occasionally. And I would hope that we would see more a little bit more serious. Like John said, he wanted 65-35 humor. I would prefer 65% dramatic, 45% humor, because I think we've seen enough goofiness. But the thing is, it's one thing for Thor to be goofy, but then when you've got Zeus who's goofy too, and everybody's goofy, it's a goof fest. And I think it undercuts my enjoyment of the movie. I know I could be wrong for some of you, but that's just the way I feel. Shane says, hey, John, longtime viewer here. I'm an Amazon driver, and your show helps me get through the day. My question for you is, which are you more excited for? Ooh, this is a good question, Shane. The future of Spider-Man or the future of the Matt Reeves Batman? Well, Shane, I have to tell you, that's a really good question. I mean, to be honest, I think that Spider-Man No Way Home was kind of the zenith of the MCU Spider-Man. I've really enjoyed Tom Holland's Spider-Man, but his movies are all kind of, this is going to sound strange, but as far as Tom Holland is concerned, they're, to me, a little one note. I really like them. They're fun to watch, but they're all kind of on the same level. And I would really like them to stop and rebuild Tom Holland's character now that his past has been sort of wiped away. His Spider-Man past has been wiped away. I think there's a really great opportunity to do something interesting and new with his Spider-Man. I don't know what that is, though. So I have to say I'm actually more excited for Matt Reeves' second Batman movie because I really enjoyed what he did with this other Batman. I really enjoyed Robert Pattinson's Batman. I thought what he did with it was great. Really enjoyed the tone of it, and I really want to see where does this Batman go. So I'm actually more excited based on the tone and the feel and the supporting cast. I can't wait to see where Matt Reeves' Batman goes. So I love the Spider-Man character, so I'm always going to go see Spider-Man movies. But in terms of being more excited, to me, I'm more interested to see where they take the new Batman. Are they going to take him further? Like, where do they take that character? So, if that makes any sense. So I'm more excited for the Batman. One of the great joys in any man's life is his morning shaving ritual, and no one gives you better tools for that ritual than Harry's. The Harry's starter set is all you need to give you the best shave possible. That foaming shave gel on your cheeks, the feel of that razor in your hand, the newly designed handle and how it looks and feels even better than the original. Harry's is giving their best offer to viewers of the John Campea Show. First-time Harry's customers can redeem a starter set for just $3 at harrys.com/Campea. That includes a 5-blade cartridge, a weighted handle, foaming shave gel, and a travel cover to protect your blades on the go. A $13 value, all for just $3. Harry's gives you simple, quality craftsmanship at a fair price, and they'll never overcharge you for gimmicks you don't need. Harry's blades hold up better than ever. Guys who've tried it said their 8th shave is as sharp as their first, and their newly designed weighted handle looks almost as fresh as you'll feel after using it. Harry's has the highest customer satisfaction in the shaving industry, and they're still offering a no-risk trial. Don't like your shave? No worries, it's on them. New look, same incredible offer. There's really never been a better time to give Harry's a try. Just go to harrys.com/Campea today to get your starter set for just $3. That's harrys.com/Campea. Dinosaur on a spaceship. Dinosaur on a spaceship. I'm going to bring this down here. Dinosaur on a spaceship says, recently I was asked the worst movie I've ever seen. For me, it has to be the live-action Speed Racer. Okay. What would it be for you, Dinosaur? I say this with love, brother. I say this, I don't mean to dish you in any way. And I know that you are not the only person that dislikes intensely the Wachowski Speed Racer. As a matter of fact, I know a lot of people that think I'm crazy for what I'm going to say, and I want to thank you for writing in, and I love when people's opinions are stated. Now, I'm not saying you're wrong, because a lot of people dislike this movie. I'm just going to say I love it. I love Speed Racer. I know it is visual overload and oral sound overload and all that. Overload. I love the film, and I think it's a terrific way to go with the actual animated. In terms of doing an adaptation, a live-action adaptation of a Japanese anime, I thought it did a tremendous job. Now, I have to tell you, I grew up with the Speed Racer, the original Speed Racer cartoon animated show. And during my time when I was first starting out in the entertainment industry, I worked for Joel Silver, who produced like the Die Hard movies and the Predator movies. I was what was called a story analyst, where I'd read scripts. And at the time, they were trying to develop a Speed Racer movie. And the Speed Racer movie was very much like Days of Thunder. It was very serious and it was very earnest. And they weren't good. They didn't get what the animation was. I mean, You needed ninjas. You needed, well, maybe you didn't get the mammoth car, but you needed Snake Oiler and the car acrobatic team, although I wish they worshipped the devil like they did in the original animated series, but because they were good villains. But, I really loved the Speed Racer animated film. So we part ways there. However, I will tell you the movie that I've only walked out of one movie in my life. You might have heard of the cult film, the cult favorite, the perennial midnight shower, the Rocky Horror Picture Show. Well, they tried to make a sequel to the Rocky Horror Picture Show, a pseudo-sequel called Shock Treatment. Richard O'Brien came back and I guess wrote it and was in it. And I hated it. I just couldn't take it. And the old adage, you can't set out to make a cult movie. A cult movie just happens. A cult movie, because of whatever, it captures certain members of the audience's imagination, and people become very fond of it. You can't set out to make one, though. A cult movie happens. It can't be created. I mean, it's created, but a cult, being a cult favorite, you can't make it happen. And they tried to, and I found that movie so fucking annoying. Now, to be fair, I did only see it once. I only saw it once, so what can I say? Maybe if I went back, and I only saw it once like 35 years ago, and if I went and watched it again, maybe, just maybe, I might like it more. Although I don't know. But man, I didn't like it. I intensely disliked it, as a matter of fact. So there you go. There's the. I thought that was the worst movie I ever saw in a theater, at least. Maybe not the worst movie I ever saw, but it wasn't good. And our last question or comment of the day comes to us from Ben Burnside. Hey, John. I never saw you or Robin Crew give a full segment review on the John Campea Show of Jurassic World Dominion since John was sick at the time. Well, let's have it. What did you think of Dominion? I thought it was the worst one. Ben, you and I park our shuttlecrafts in the same shuttle bay. I finally went and saw it because I thought I had to. Look, I always try and judge movies for what they are, not what they're not. Like, it's really hard, though. It's really hard because as a filmmaker myself, I'm like, if I had made Jurassic Park Dominion, what would it be about? And I think that what really bothered me was whether you're trying to rescue a baby raptor or what to me, the interesting story, and again, I don't know how you would have turned this into a movie, but the problem with Jurassic World Dominion was I thought that they moved too far away from the plot. I mean, you've got mutant insects, you've got all these I mean, to me, the movie promised Dominion, that's what it's in the title, that dinosaurs now are sharing the planet with us. And what does that mean? And what would our world, we kind of got a glimpse of it. I mean, but it was mostly, the story was paint by numbers. There was nothing truly that interesting about it that was really about, like, if we were, imagine, here's the thing. Here's the thing what I thought it should have been about. If we had to coexist with dinosaurs and there were no way to get rid of them unless you're going on the great dinosaur hunts, but life will find a way and they keep reproducing and they're really dangerous and all that, what would it mean to us as a species? And there'd be all kinds of people that would be profiteering from it. There would be people that probably were experimenting on dinosaurs, maybe trying to use them on the battlefield, which was actually going to be an early, I think they mentioned it in Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. But I just didn't think that the movie was very interesting from an intellectual standpoint. Like, I wasn't engaged. They didn't ask the kinds of questions that I wanted the film to ask. And that was more along the lines of what would happen to our society. And they touched on it. They kind of showed it, but it was more like, oh, we're running away from the dinosaurs. And I just thought that was I just didn't dig it. I mean, technically it's fine. The acting was fine, like you would expect. But the storyline, I just found myself really disinterested in what was going on. In a way, I wanted all the vampires to win. I want all the people to be eaten. It's really what it comes right down to for me. What that says about me, I don't know. but that's where I'm at. So I just didn't like it. I mean, the thing is, the first Jurassic Park movie has true awe and wonder. The whole Sam Neill taking off his glasses scene when you first see the Brachiosaur, and the way Spielberg shot the movie. If you go back and you watch the original Jurassic Park, Spielberg's always keeping the camera kind of at ground level, so we're always looking up at the dinosaurs. You're always seeing the characters look up to the dinosaurs, and rather than shoot it in widescreen, he shot it 1.85, maybe even 1.66, so you really get a sense of scale. And I thought it was just ordinary, and the special effects are fine. But where's the awe and wonder? That's really what I was missing. When it comes down to it, that's what I was missing from Jurassic World Dominion. I really wanted something more juicy and interesting. And I mean, I was looking back on it. Here's something else. Maybe this wouldn't have worked, but if you went like, it would have been more interesting. Like if there was this, I can't get into it. I can't, because it's not fair. It's not fair for me to sit there and go, wow, wouldn't it be cool if it was this? Because the question you asked was about the movie itself. And I just didn't dig it. I wanted to, though. Look, if there's ever a franchise that makes you want to believe, want to love, it is Jurassic World Dominion. What a bummer. What are you going to do? Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, kind souls, gentle beings, however you identify across the 28 known galaxies, I would like to thank you for supporting the John Campea Show and all of our crew here with your generous tips for the channel. And I love the questions and comments because, as we always say, it gives us something great to talk about. And I love hearing from you. The community, after all, is one of the most important things here about the John Campea Show. Our fans are some of the best on YouTube, and I feel the same way about my fans over at Post Geek Singularity, my own YouTube channel. And you can find me there at Post Geek Singularity, or you can go to my website, postgeeksingularity.com, where there's all kinds of news, and you can send me a letter on my own show if you want, free of charge, and I'll read it. You can also find me on Instagram at RMBurnett, or find me on Twitter at BurnettRM. Remember, check the link below. You can always fire in a question, or you can send us super chats on the John Campea Show every weekday. Usually it's open for just a couple of minutes right after we do the daily topics, but we will never not read those super chats live on the show. That's how we reorganize this so it all works. My name is Robert Meyer Burnett, and I want to thank all of you for doing what you do. And remember, every person you meet has a story to tell that you have yet to hear. All you have to do is listen. And with that, once again, thanks from me and the crew here at the John Campea Show.